Okay, so yesterday we discussed about acid properties. So now we are going to discuss about SQL Server. So you guys installed SQL Server on your machines?
Yes, Srinivas.
Okay, so which version you guys installed?
2014.
Oh, Express Edition. Okay, fine. Okay, okay. So we discuss about the basic things. As like any programming language, SQL Server has also predefined data types. They are character, varchar max, text, nvarchar max, ntext, bit, var binary max, and image. These are only string data types. Okay, so char means just like in C sharp, the character only, but it gives some fixed length. If you define some length, it will take that length, and the maximum characters you can store is 8,000 characters. So if you define 8,000 means by default it will take 8,000 characters. So it will take the space required for 8,000 characters for char. Whereas where varchar also same, but the thing is it will you can take the memory up to 8,000 characters. Okay, but if you are only placing values in that, so some characters like some thousand characters only, that remaining 7,000 it won't it will give it back, so it won't utilize that, and it will make available for other things. Okay, but whereas char it will take entire 8,000 character space, and it will keep it with that. Sorry. So varchar means it will only take what required, but char it will take entirely whatever is defined. That's the difference between these two. Varchar max is, so the maximum number of characters supported is, you can see the count there, whatever the characters, that much it will take. Means it's almost nearer to some 2 GB data. Okay, so that much it will support varchar max. Text also the same, varchar max and text also same, but where text it will save the data in separate text files, but it will show as a column in your table. Nchar is, so if you have any unicode values means a specific language other than English, any other language characters, literals, they treat it as Unicode. Okay, so that kind of characters, if you want to save, you should go to nvarchar, max, and text. So these four are alternates for the first four. Okay, and these n whichever starts with n, they will occupy double the space. They need double the space to save each character. So if in character, if you take, it may take 1 byte, okay, 2 bytes, 2 bytes plus each character, but in nvarchar it takes 4 bytes. Okay, that's what the difference between these two, but other than that both are same. Okay, and bit allows only 0 or 1 or null. Means 0 or 1 means you can treat it as some boolean kind of field in SQL Server. And binary means maximum up to 8,000 bytes. So binary strings, you know, right? 0 1 1 0 something, so whichever combination that repeats. So to save that kind of strings we use binary data type. Where binary means same, it is like a binary only, but it won't occupy the full length, it will occupy whatever it requires. And where binary max means it is up to 2 GB. And image, so you can save images to your SQL server, that is the image data type available with SQL server. Okay, these are string data types in SQL server. And then we have different number types. So tiny int it will save up to numbers 0 to 255. Small int it will allow whole numbers between the range whatever given there. The storage required for each one defined against the storage column. Okay, the integer value from where to where you can store, and begin from where to where you can store, that is there. Decimal ps, p means precision and s means scale numbers. So the range also given here. So if you want to save some decimal values like 10.30, 10.37, something like that, you use this decimal. Okay, and then numeric, fixed precision and scale numbers allow numbers from the same range, decimal and this one. Okay, so this one it allows the values. So the default is 18 here. Okay, if you don't define any the decimal precisions, it will take default 18, the p value. Okay, so that's what numeric. Small money, so money type of values also you can save into your database, that is money data from. So you can see this one same as your integer value. And money, this is just like your big int value. And float, float means it is again a floating precision number that ranges from minus 1.79 e exponential. Okay, so these are the ranges actually from where to where you can define. And real is a floating precision number, that is again the same range more than float. Okay, these are the number data types. In this we use only the first integer, big int, decimal, numeric. These are the common types we use the most. Okay, in very rare cases we use other types. And then SQL server data types, that is date. So we have date time that starts from the minimum range is January 1st 1753 to December 31 4 nines with an accuracy of 3.33 milliseconds. Whereas date time 2 is from January 10012 to December 31 4 nines with an accuracy of 100 nanoseconds. So this date time 2, that is recently they introduced in 2008. Okay, small date time from January 1900 to June 6, 2079 with an accuracy of 1 minute. Okay, but we use only date time here. Okay, date time 2 also we use very rare, only date time we use. And then date, it stores only date, not the time. Okay, date time means it saves the current date and the current time. Okay, but date, whereas it only saves the day, month and year. Time means only time. Okay, date time offset means you can use this time zone offset. So for India it is plus 530. Okay, like that some countries have their time zone offset, right? That you can maintain here with date time offset. This one also introduced in 2008 R2. Okay, timestamp. So this timestamp means it calculates from the starting of the year. Okay, where the date time starts, actually according to database, where the date time starts, and it stores the value. So how many ticks happen? So the seconds, you can take the seconds, it will be some big integer value. It is something to support Linux systems, Linux or Unix systems. Okay, where they will count the ticks from starting of the calendar, your calendar where it starts. If you take here 1st January 001 December 31st, right? From then how many ticks means how many seconds are happened, that's what it will store in that timestamp value. Okay, so that has to be converted accordingly. But in this also we use only date time, date and time. Okay, these three data types we use the most. Okay, remaining according to our usage requirement we use. So other data types we have SQL variant. So it stores some bytes of data types except text and timestamp. So you can use any data type. Okay, for that you can use SQL variant. Unique identifier. Okay, it stores globally unique identifier GUID. I forgot to tell you about this in C# also. There is GUID concept. It is globally unique identifier. So there is no chance of repeating. Once this ID is created, there is no chance that it will be created again. There won't be any duplicate ID in a system once a GUID is created. Okay, that's why, and you cannot generate on your own, it is system generated. So you just need to call for a new ID, so it will be generated automatically, and it is just like some key. Okay, for a person, so you are adding customers to your system. That time if you want to uniquely identify each customer, so you want to assign some ID, you can use this unique identifier. It won't be repeated for your system. Okay, so that this ID will be unique for any for a given customer, that won't be repeated. Okay, that is what unique identifier. XML means it stores XML data. Okay, maximum 2 GB, and cursor stores a reference to a cursor used for database operations. So cursors we will discuss once we go to once we get deep into the SQL programming in SQL Server. Okay, table also, a table data type is there. It is a temporary thing where you can store the data, like just like in SQL Server tables, you can save data temporarily into these tables. Okay, these can be called as table variables. That's what SQL data types. Any doubts on this? Are you guys are clear? Okay, fine. So the next thing is, what is database? So a database is a collection of information that is organized so that it can easily be accessed, managed and updated. In one view, databases can be classified according to types of content: bibliography, full text, numeric and images. So a database is nothing but a system where you can maintain the identical related data, related information, and you can manage and you can update the data. Okay, that's what a database. Okay, just a second. Okay, so that's what database. There you can maintain some images, some bibliographies and some text, numeric values, something, whatever, whichever required for your operations. The data wherever you save, that is called a database. Okay, from there, this is a base for your data. From here you will operate everything. Okay, and it provides you uh, the ability to manage the data, update the data, insert, update, delete and different types. Okay, that's what the database. Okay, now in a database, coming to SQL Server or any RDBMS system, you will have different types of commands. Okay, okay, so the thing is, we have DML commands. DML means data manipulation. Okay, so these DML means data manipulation. Before that, I will talk about DDL. DDL means data definition language. So data definition language means the data whichever you want to create, alter means modify, and drop. If you use few statements like this, wherever you want to define your data, you want to create your data, okay, some structure of the database, that time you use these commands. Example for these commands are create, alter and drop statements. So with this you will define your data, so what to be there, what not to be there. Okay, so whenever you want something to be modified in the existing system, means the structure of the system. Okay, so XML means XML data. So XML type of data, I hope you guys know XML type, right? So anybody don't know about XML? So which is have a start tag, and any HTML file if you see, that will have some XML structure only. Okay, extended markup language. HTML means hypertext markup language. So the XML type of data, if you want to save into your database, you can use this data type. Okay, it saves up to 2 GB XML data. Okay, so XML means this is very simple. It will have, so person, inside person you may have name, some John, and you will have name, and then address will be somewhere New York, USA, UK, address, mobile, something. Okay, and then person. So if any data is like this, if any data is like this, that can be, you can save this kind of data in your XML data type column. So you can define types for the columns, what type of data it can store. So in that, XML is one type of data. So the XML representation will be something like this. So this type of data you can save into your field if you define that field type as XML. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay. So now we have DDL commands. DDL means data definition language. So how your data should be, how it should save into your database, and if you want to uh, clear something from your database, so if you don't need some kind of data or some kind of things in your the structure, the base things are not clear in your database, that time you can use this kind of DDL commands. Examples are create, alter, drop statements. Okay, we'll discuss in deep while we start after we start the programming. Okay, DML means this is data manipulation. So DDL means it defines how your data should be. Okay, and if you don't want, you can drop your data also. But whereas DML already existing data, it provides these commands are used to manipulate the data. Manipulate the data means you can select the data and you can update, so you can modify the data and you can insert the data, and if you want you can delete the data. These are the basic DML commands. Okay, we have DCL commands, data control language. It used to create roles, permissions, and referential integrity, as well it is used to control the okay, control access to the database by securing it. Okay, this is these are not that much important because these commands will be executed by all the DBAs, but normal programmers we don't need these DCL commands, but better to know what it is. So these are mainly to create users roles permissions, so your database which users can access. So while installing your SQL Server, it asks for users, right? You created some SA and you have given some password. After that also, for a particular database, if you want to provide access to anybody, you can create that account and you can give access to a particular person. Okay, and even permissions. Permissions also means you can only provide a permission like only they can view the data, but they cannot manipulate, they cannot insert, they cannot delete, they cannot update. Okay, so this kind of permissions also you can set by using DCL commands. Okay, and then TCL, transaction control language, it is used to manage different transactions occurring within a database. So this transaction control language means, so whenever something is happening, so some you are performing some 2 3 operations. So what's your condition is, if it should happen all the three or none, that is the condition. That time what you will do is you can create some transactions. Within the transactions you can operate, inside those transactions you can operate those three operations. So this transaction ensures uh, all the three are executed or none. So if the first operation executed, second operation, while executing second operation, you got some issue, or the system got crashed, or the system failed, or your data has some error prone data. So that time an exception raises. What these transactions will do, so by using these transactions, whatever operations are done, so whatever the operation is done, that will be uh, rollback. Rollback means that operation will be cancelled and it will bring the system back into the same state before executing the transaction. Okay, that's what the TCL commands. These are the basic commands in SQL Server. Any doubts on this? Or you guys are clear? Okay, fine, thank you. So now we'll discuss about the basic commands. Okay, so how to create a database, I will show you. So when you open your SQL Server Management Studio and you connect to your database, okay, so by default it will show your login. Like if you give SA and password, it will bring you to this wizard. And if you can't see this object explorer, you go to view. Here you can see object explorer. Okay, F8. Okay, I will close this and I press just F8. It opens for me. Under this you can see the databases. Okay, you can expand it. Okay, whatever databases are there, you can see all this. Okay, so the first two system databases, database snapshots, you you don't ever remove these two things. Don't ever try to remove these two things, because if you do this, it will remove it will uh, make your database unstable. It may crash your SQL server. You need to format your machine and you need to install it again. So don't try to work out on these things. Okay, so directly right click on these databases you can create a new database. Okay, you can give whatever name you want. Okay, okay, this is my database, and you just can click OK. It will create a database for you, and here the database whatever I have created. Okay, now you expand it, it will show database diagrams, tables, views, okay, synonyms. This synonyms is not required, programmability. Okay, so we work with only these things: database diagrams, tables, views, and programmability. These are the main things we work on SQL Server. Okay, so first we are starting with tables, right? So tables, we have the beauty of SQL Server Management Studio is you can create the table in user UI from the UI user interface, or you can execute some commands. Through commands also you can create. So the best practice for us in the beginning is we will create everything from the commands. So right click on the database name I just created. Okay, you can select new query. So this new query comes. This is my query window, and make sure your database whatever you created that appears on this box. Okay, it shows all the databases in your SQL server, but you have to select whatever you created just now. Okay, so the syntax for creating any table is this one. Okay, student table. So and you can give the characters. Okay, so the columns fields. So we'll try a simple we try creating a simple table. Create. And another beauty of SQL Server is it is not case sensitive, means if you type in capital letters or small letters whatever, but the spelling should be correct, whatever case it accepts. That's the beauty of SQL Server. So create table and give your table name. So I will give student. Okay, and open bracket. Now write the names whatever you require. Okay, so in the next line I am taking student ID, data type int. Okay, next name. So for strings in database we use varchar. Okay, why varchar means the data types, as we discussed earlier, varchar takes the characters length whatever it requires. Okay, so if your name is somewhere around only 10 characters, it takes only 10 characters, and it leaves the remaining 190 characters space for the SQL server. That can be used for other places that can be used. But whereas if you use char, that will take the full 200 characters length. Okay, so ID name, I will take age again integer. Okay, same whatever the class we created in our in our C sharp, the same class we try to the same for that class we try to create a matching table here. Okay, that's what we are trying to do it here. Okay, and then class, that is again varchar 200. So if you give whatever length, that's not a problem, but finally how many characters you are passing, that's the matter. So if you pass less the characters, it uses that much space only. If you are passing 200 characters, that will use the full length. Okay, class, and then branch, this also varchar 200, maths marks sorry, this is integer, or you can take decimal. Okay, decimal is fine. And then science marks decimal, and then social marks decimal. Okay, and then total marks decimal, average marks decimal. Okay, and then finally what we have: id, name, age, class. This much information is fine for me. So if I execute this one, it will create a table with the fields whatever I defined here. Okay, command completed successfully. Now if you right click on these tables and refresh it, it created a table for you here. You can see, right? And now you expand that table, you can see again columns, keys, constraints, triggers, indexes, statistics. So all these are not that much important now, only columns. So columns whatever I have given here, you can see the same thing. Okay, this is what these are the columns or fields I created in this table. And keys means nothing but primary key, unique key, or foreign key, which are constraints we discussed in yesterday's class. So constraints also the same thing, the conditions whichever you define. Okay, now this table is created. Okay, the another beauty in this is you can automatically repeat your ID number. Means it starts from 1 until it increments. So whenever you are creating a record, you need not to pass this value, id value. So by default, if you give something like identity, okay, 1 comma 1, so the seed from where it has to start and the increment value, so it should start from 1 and every time it has to increase by 1. Means whenever you are inserting a record, the very first record will have the value 1 and the second record will have value 2. So it increases one after one. So like that it will assign IDs to that. That is the, we can say this as identity column. Okay. So I will use drop table also. Okay. So here drop command, it will destroy the table and all the data will be recorded in it. So what this is a DDL command, means data definition. So if you want to delete that entire table from your database, you can use drop table, the table name. Okay, create table, table name, and all the field names if you give, it will create the data for you, the table structure for you in the database. Okay, this is one, these are the two commands. Okay, I will clear this table now. Drop table, it executed successfully. If you come here and if you refresh it, the table will go off. So there is no table now, the student table is not there now. Okay. Sorry. Okay, this is not there now. Okay, this is what the basic two commands of your DDL commands: create table and drop table. Okay, now we have another DDL commands, few commands are there. Truncate command, so that is also same like the truncate is same, truncate table student, if it is there it will truncate. I am creating again. Where? Okay, this table got created now. If you want to truncate, it will truncate the table. So the truncate means what it will do, it will clear entire data in your table. Okay, that's what truncate table. Okay, I will explain you more about this once we get into the programming. So there is an interview question for this truncate table and delete table. Okay, so just remember there is a truncate table which will delete entire data in your database. Okay, then we have rename command. If you want to rename your table, you can rename. So now my table name is, so I created my table. We will see the table is student. Okay, now if I want to rename table student to sorry, table is not required. Table to student data. Okay, rename, this is correct only. So this I will explain you, but nobody uses this command as it creates lot of problems once your database is already created and in use. So nobody use this command, not required that much. Okay, and then alter table, there is a command. So I have given this branch value as 200 characters. Okay, if I want to change the data type and the values, if I want to increase that to 300, okay, if you see here in my columns, you can see branch has varchar 200. If I want to increase that length, what I have to do is alter table, okay, student, and alter column, okay, that is branch varchar 250. Okay, and you just select whatever command you want to execute and execute it. It got executed. My varchar length is 250. Just refresh these columns. You can see branch, the length of branch is 250 now, varchar 250. That's how you can use alter table command. Okay, so if you want to add new columns to this table also, you can add by using alter table command only. Alter table student. Okay, I want to add his mobile number. Add, need not to mention the column keyword, just mention your new column name and your data type, varchar some 20 I will give. Okay, so the command got executed, and now if you refresh, you can see the mobile column came here. Okay, the alter command is mainly used to redefine your structure in your database. Okay, redefine means you can drop some columns, and if you don't want this column mobile, you added wrongly, and if you want to drop, so student drop column mobile. Okay, if you execute this, it will drop the column. Okay, now there is no mobile column. Okay, these are main commands to define your data. Okay, your structure in your database. Structure means here we call it as schema. Schema means a model. Okay, so how it is everything related in your database, the tables, the columns, and even the data types, everything whatever is there, that is called as schema. Okay, So these are DDL commands. So dropping column also I explained. Modify existing table. Okay. So column name and new data type, that also I explained just now. Okay. So these are restrictions on alter table is change the name using alter table cause the following task cannot be performed. So you cannot change the table name. So you cannot change the name of the column. Okay. And decrease the size of column if table data exists. So if data is already there, so just now I increased my column size from 200 to 250. Sorry. So if I want to decrease it, I cannot decrease it. Okay, these are the limitations for alter table. So any doubts on this, or you guys are clear? Okay, thank you. So now DML commands. So these DML are mainly to manipulate the data. Manipulate the data means, so if you want to, so we have already the schema or structure whichever is ready. I want to now use this structure. So what I will do is I will insert some data into tables, I will retrieve, and I will update the data, and I will delete the data. the I want to perform these the main operations. Okay, this is also we call crude operations. CRUD, okay. So crude operations means C for create, R for read, U for update, D for delete. Okay, so if you go to real environment, there everybody will call like we have to implement crude operations. Okay, we have to write crude operations. So does your crude operations implemented like that, they will ask, or they will talk about that. So crude means create, read, update, delete. Okay, so these four operations can be performed on a database table only. Okay, so these are even the alternate names are select, insert, update, delete. Okay, select means read, insert means create, update, okay, update, D for delete, same. Okay, these are the basic operations for any table to manipulate data. Okay, we will see the inserting a record to the table. Okay, so now I have already my table created. Okay, so I want to insert some data into it. So insert command into table name, you give student, and what columns data you want to insert. Okay, if you don't mention the column list here, by default it will consider that you are entering values for all the columns. If you give list of columns, so the respective values you are inserting, so the data also will insert respectively. So the best practice here is you mention whatever columns data you are inserting. So as I told earlier, the ID value will be taken automatically. So it will automatically increases and it takes. So no need of passing the ID value. Now take name. Okay, we have to pass the value for name, age, okay, class, branch, maths marks, social marks, science marks, and there is no rule that you have to mention the columns in same order here. Okay, whatever order you mention here, the values also should be in the same order in the next section. Okay, that's what required. Okay, average marks, and now you define your values here. Okay, I can take it to next line, there is no problem. Okay, so name I will take. So in C sharp you can give strings in double quotes, but whereas in SQL Server this is only single quotes. That's the difference. other than that everything is same. So there you use double quotes to represent a string. Here you use single quotes to represent a string. Whichever you kept inside two single quotes, that will be treated as a string. Okay. Now values. So for name, I will take John, and then age, his age is 20, and then class, semester 1, branch, I will take computers. Okay. Maths marks 56, social marks 76, and science marks 67. Average. Okay, what is the average for these three? I'll do here only. Okay, 56, 76 plus 67. Okay, by 3. I will do it. So this is one. This is just okay. Here I will do by 3. That is average marks. Okay, this one I am going to. So you can see the insert, this is the command, and into. So insert into means to which table you want to insert the data, that is student, and then the next in the brackets you are saying for which columns you want to insert data. So name, age, class, branch, maths marks, social marks, science marks, total marks, and average marks, and the values you are mentioning here respectively the column names. Okay, so whatever column names you mentioned after the table name, the same order you have to follow for the values. Okay, now I will execute this command. We will see what will happen. So one record got inserted or it got created. So if I want to see the data in my table, the command I use is select star from table name student. Okay, this is the command I use to see what data available in my table. So I am executing. You can see ID. So we didn't pass the ID value, but it got created automatically. Okay, the value came 1, John, age is 20, and semester 1 computers marks, whichever we inserted respectively it came. Okay, these are the first two commands. Okay, that is insert a record, view data, you will use select command. Okay, so if I want to modify, I wrongly entered the branch name or class name, I want to modify the data in this table, what I will use is update command, update table name. Okay, and then set. So in C sharp you use directly equal to, so some variable int a. Okay, int a you declare, in the very next statement you will write like a equal 5, so it will directly assign the value to a. Okay, but here to assign any value to any variable or any column, you have to use the keyword set. Okay, the set will set the value for that variable or column. So here set I am using. So class, okay, class is my column, equal to, again in single quotes, semester 2 I am updating. Okay, so here we have clauses. Okay, clauses. Okay, these are the different classes are there that we will discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay, but this update statement you write like this, and if you execute, it will execute for all the columns, means all the records in our table. Okay, so now I have only one table, one record in my table. Only that record will update. The column value is semester 2. Okay, if I add one more record to this database, now that is John. Now I will add RAM. Okay, 19, and semester 1 is information technology. Okay, this is 67, 87, 96, 96. Okay, okay, this guy also I will add as semester 2. Okay, and this will insert one more value for me. Okay, now if you want to see the data in my table, you can see two records. Okay, both are with semester 2. Okay, I entered the branch name wrong for these two guys, and these two guys are belongs to some this one electronics. Okay, if I want to update those two guys or my entire table, the column value for all the data in my table, I can execute this. It will change the value for all the people. So you can see electronics, electronics. So this data is permanently saved in your table, and you can access and you can manipulate at any point of time. Okay, so we covered the in my CRUD operations, I covered the create. Okay, next is read. Okay, CRUD, CRUD. Okay, create. Read means select star from. Okay, and update means update command we used. Now delete. Okay, delete from table name student, and this will. Okay, so what this will do is it will remove your entire data. Okay, all the records in our table it will delete. Okay, I am deleting it. So I deleted, so there is no data. Okay, so if you want to delete any data, you have to use this command. This is one. Okay, so truncate table I told you earlier, so now we will discuss that here. So all these operations, if you remember acid properties we discussed. Okay, in that isolation is one concept. Isolation means whichever operation you perform, it has to keep that log. Log means you are inserting. You are inserting the data means the data inserted, a record is inserted, and the history, how it got inserted, what time it got inserted, everything internally your log file will be maintained by SQL Server. Okay, so if your system crashes or some problem happens, by using that log file you can recover your database. That is the use of log file. Okay, that much detail we don't need at this stage, but just remember it will handle all the logs. It will keep all the logs for any failure situation to recover your database back. Okay, so all these data manipulation language, whatever you perform, the log will be maintained by SQL Server. Okay, so we have truncate table and delete table. The operations for both is same. Okay, so but there is a quite few differences between these two. When you use truncate table, it will remove all the records in your table, whereas delete, by using where class, you can restrict the table to remove only a particular set of records, one or particular set of records, or all the records. There is a chance with delete, but whereas truncate, it will clear your entire table. That's the difference between these two, first point. And then delete table, it maintains the log, means, so the identity column I purposefully took it here to demonstrate that thing only. So now when I inserted these two records, you can see that ID column has 1 and 2. If now I create again these two columns, it starts from 3. Though there are no records, okay, it starts from 3. You can see 3 and 4. Okay, why means the delete maintains the logs. Okay, means for this table, how many records got inserted so far. So far it inserted 2 records. The day means the identity seed already sets to 2, and when you insert the new record it starts from 2. Okay, but whereas you do truncate means it not only deletes this data in the table, it also clears the log for that table. So there won't be any record like how many records got inserted so far. So it again starts from 1. So that is another major difference. Because of this only, okay, so delete maintains logs, right? So if you some accidentally you execute the delete command, you can recover your data back by using log files. Whereas if you use truncate table, you cannot get the data back. Okay, so that is just like delete means it will keep into a recycle bin. But whereas truncate table, it is just like shift delete. So nowhere you can get it back. Okay, so now I have 3 and 4. Okay, I will execute truncate table, and now I will select the table. There is no data. Okay, and if I execute it, it starts from again 1, the identity column. Okay, you can see it. Now it is 1 comma 2. Okay, this is the major difference between delete and truncate. It is very much important for interview questions. Okay, that is what DML commands, and we have constraints here. Okay, so I have created my table like this. Okay, so I want to maintain some constraints to my table. The constraints means the ID column is a unique column, and I want it to be a primary key for my table. Okay, primary key means, what does it mean? It the values cannot be repeated in that. Okay, and it shouldn't be null, so that I can uniquely identify my record. Okay, that is called primary key. So already my table got created. At the time of creating only, I can use here only. Okay, I will, for one thing I will use that. Okay, what I can name. So name. Okay, so primary key we will assign to ID column. So the command is, again we have to use alter table. Okay, student. Okay, okay, alter table name, and you can see the syntax here. Add constraint, constraint name, add constraint, constraint name is pk underscore student. Okay, primary key. Okay, primary key on the column id. Okay, I will execute this got executed, and you can see here, refresh, the column icon got changed to a key icon. Means this is a primary key for this table, so that by using this id column you can access your data. Okay, so this is used to uniquely identify a record. So this is primary key. Okay, and if you want to keep some column, the name, I don't want it to be a blank value. Means now here if you can see, there are not null for this one, and all other has null, means they accept null values. That's what it says. So now alter again table. So name cannot be null, right? At any point of time name cannot be null or blank. So what I will do, alter table student. Okay, okay, the command alter column name not null. If you mention something like this, okay, what is that? Okay, we have to again give the data type and everything. Okay, 200. Now the command is executed successfully. So if you see here, you cannot enter any null value to this column. Okay, so we will try to do that. The same statement will execute. We will see what will happen here. Okay, I will just pass a null. Okay, or instead you don't want to pass any null, you just remove the column name here and even the value, the respective value in the values section, and you try to insert. So cannot insert the value null into the column name. Okay, column does not allow nulls, insert fails. So you cannot insert a null value into that column. Not null means that is the thing. Okay, and then we have foreign key. Foreign key we will see later. Okay, unique key. Unique key means again I can apply to the same table. Okay, so any name that cannot be repeated in my table. Okay, alter table. Okay, add constraint. Okay, constraint name unique key underscore student name. Okay, and unique key on column name. Okay, as I told, case is not a problem. Okay, unique, just unique is enough. Okay, so now I will try to insert some value here, the same. So these two values are there or we removed. Okay, they are there. I will try to insert again RAM. Okay, what it will do. Violation of unique key constraint. Okay, UK student cannot insert duplicate key in object student. The duplicate key value is RAM. So already RAM record is there. So you cannot insert the same record again. That's what the issue says. Okay. And now we have check constraint. Okay. So check constraint here one more. Here the comments is just two minus symbols. It will take. It will consider the statement as a comment. Okay, okay, so now we have check constraint. Okay, check means what it will do. So the age yesterday I told you. So if you want to apply any condition for any field, you can use the check constraint. So the check constraint syntax is alter table, table name, add constraint, and you can give the constraint name and check the column name with the condition. You can mention it here. Okay, we will see that age condition now. Alter table, add constraint. Okay, check underscore age. Okay, check age greater than 17. Here you can type directly and. In C sharp you use two ampersand symbols, but here you can directly use the words and or unique. Okay, this kind of words you can directly use. There is no need of any symbols. Okay, age less than 22. Okay, greater than or equal to 17 or less than or equal to 22. This is the constraint. Table name student. Okay, so now, so this is there. I will try to insert another student with the age somewhere around 16. Okay, we'll see. So violation of unique key constraint. Oh, RAM is already there. So, so the insert statement conflicted with the check constraint check case. The conflict occurred in the database student column age. So it is not allowing you to insert the data. Okay, it is checking a condition and it is not allowing you to insert the data. We'll change it to 20 and we'll check. So the row is inserted. Okay, these are different types of constraints available in SQL Server. Okay, this is what all about the basic syntax and the commands DDL, DML and some constraints we are using in this. Okay, so you guys have any doubt on this topic, or you guys are clear? I hope you guys are clear. Okay, so I want you guys to an assignment. Okay, so what assignment can I give? So create a student table with the following fields. Okay, the fields you can use same as in our C# assignment. Okay, use same fields as mentioned in C# oops assignment. Okay, and then create a table, create person table with the not person table, product table with the following fields. Okay, following fields are ID. Okay, ID should auto generate and increase for each record. Okay, and primary key, name, description, price, quantity, and then okay, this much enough. Create a customer table with the following fields. Okay, that is again ID, primary key, and identity column. Okay, and then name, address, contact number. Okay, mm, customer sends means some date, Okay, this one, for all the above tables, implement CRUD operations. So CRUD operations means create, read, update, and delete. So all these commands you have to implement for all these tables. Okay, implement constraints according as per your wish, at least two constraints for each table. Okay, so this is the assignment for this week. Okay, so any more doubts, or you guys are clear?
Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, I have one question.
Okay.
So while like I am opening the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio.
Okay.
So first there are two options like for authentication, Windows authentication and SQL Server authentication. So
Okay.
what I need to select?
You can select anything, that's fine. So the difference between Windows and SQL Server authentication is the SQL
Uh-huh.
Server authentication, that is super admin. Okay, you can do
Okay.
whatever operation on that machine. Okay, that is very much required. Windows authentication
Oh,
means so your system login. So your
uh-huh.
system may have two or three logins.
Okay.
Your laptop, you can configure two or three accounts, right? The time of
Right, right.
installation, yeah, the time of installation SQL Server, you will choose the
Uh-huh.
installation for everyone or only for you, like that. So if you select
Okay.
for everyone, it will open for everyone, means whoever has the login with those credentials, they can open this database. But SCA is a super user, it is exclusive access. Okay, it can use for all the permissions, but whereas Windows authentication also have that, but they are
Mm-hmm.
when you compare to SCA means SQL Server authentication. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that account is that is super, means that has all the permissions, but whereas the Windows authentication, though it has some limitations are there. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so if I'll select SQL Server Authentication, it activates that login and password. So which login, like which account I need to use or I need to create a new one?
No, no, you can use anything, that's what I'm telling. Windows or SA, whatever is fine. So you are
Oh,
at the time of installation you are asking, or after installation you are asking?
after installation, I have opened that Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So I got one box like connect to server and there is server type, name, authentication.
Yeah.
These fields
So
are given.
something like this, right?
Uh, yes, right.
Yeah. So here you can use SQL Server authentication or Windows authentication. Whatever is fine,
Okay.
it will give you the same view.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
No problem for anything.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Any more doubts?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So guys, please work on these assignments. Okay. So that we will dive into more programming from Monday. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a nice
Okay.
weekend. Have a nice day. Yeah. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you.